Hello everyone. We are going to have a look at cache and the vents on cache. So I've got a compatibility version, an old version of cache that I'm going to load up here, so we can have a look at how the vent used to be from a CT perspective, looking into checkers. So I'm going to go on the CT side and then have a quick run through mid and quickly talk about how things used to be back in the day, if you will. Not a day very far ago, but there we go. Load me some training content. Alrighty then. So, again, the important vent here is this one for our purposes. So we can see that this vent is essentially like two-dimensional on this plane, and you can see you've just got pretty basic slats, and you can see a lot of the vent area here. If I just shoot it, you can see just over half of this area. I'll just load that again.
Lock and load.
So yeah, you can see just over half of this area at the moment, and this is old cache. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to get pos. I don't know what the difference is between get pos and get pos exact, but I'm going to copy this. And then we are going to go to newer cache. This is actually something I find quite weird, but I have no idea about building maps and Hammer and all that stuff. So who knows what is going on here? Because obviously cache has had a few changes here and there. But if I go to use set pos to put myself in exactly the same position, it's not going to work out for me, which is maybe something FMPwn can explain. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
Let's go.
So if I go to set pos, it puts me up here, which is kind of weird. Anyway, I'll no clip out and get going. So we're going to move back into the vents. If I put myself in the same position, you can see that my vision is considerably obscured. Obviously, before we could pretty much see all of this, but because these are three-dimensional slats on this plane, it's blocking a lot more vision. So this is something that I think maybe hasn't been considered in these changes. So I do wonder how people think about that. I think you can move sideways a bit and you can see more, but this is a considerable difference that people need to think about. So I just wonder what people's opinions are. I don't know what my opinion is on it just yet. I guess we need to see how it affects the game. But the second question is, what is the vision? I mean, that's the vision on that side. So what is the vision from this side? So I'm going to put my second player in there shortly, and then we can have a look at the advantages and disadvantages for players in this position. So we have my second account in the vents now, and basically, if the CT is standing, then the Ts can get to this position without being seen with the current vents. If the CTs crouch, then they can see you now, so you need to be a bit further back, but you can still see the CT before. So we'll do a comparison with the old vents as well, but first we'll run through this. So I just wanted to show you where you can see the CT from. So roughly about here. I don't know how you want to line this up. I mean, you can look at these for reference points and so on. So I suppose you could say roughly before this line disappears, you can see the CT in this position and he cannot see you. Obviously you need to be wary of this, although you can
No one is here.
just slow down there and then start moving into this position. But you have to move it more forward, but the same rule still applies. Yeah, he still can't see you. I'm just checking on my second screen here. So you can just move into this position, and if he's standing, he will not be able to see you. Basically, I'm just going to move that down a bit. So I'll show you this from the opposite perspective. Okay, so my second account now is in the same position I was in. So if I crouch, you can see the head there. So he's in exactly the same position, lining up with that line in the wall. So if he starts to move left, you can see he suddenly appears there. So let's have a look and see where he needs to be in order to not be seen. So if you're crouching, then he needs to be in a considerably different spot. So I'll go back and show you this a bit later on. So generally speaking, the way the vents are at the moment. If you want to see, because this is actually a very important little gap here. So with the new vents, you definitely want to be crouching in this situation. If you're standing, then you're going to do yourself a massive disservice. And again, you're going to be spotted long before you're going to see the other guy. So bear that in mind. I think most people are not going to be aware of this, even after this video. So there are 3 kills to be had in the vent position here, I think, for the time being. But I'll go back and show you exactly where the T model is to be hiding from this position. You can see he is about there. So we'll just switch this back. Okay, so this is basically the closest position I can be in when the CT is crouching to not be seen. If I start to move even, well, actually, here we go. I'm just checking. So if I hold shift and move a little bit, okay, so here he starts to see me and I still can't see him if he's crouching. So that's something to bear in mind. So if I move back a little bit, if I move to the rear, then you can see him crouching. So you can kind of see the CT here. And again, let me just check. Yeah, so I can get to this point here, and he still can't see me from at this point. He still can't see me, but I can see him. So it is disadvantageous at the moment. So what we're going to do now is move to old cache and see how things used to be, roughly speaking. That's why I like my channel, because I don't have to, I can do everything roughly. So here is the old vent, and you can see the T is there, but it's a lot harder for the T's with this vent to see the CTs first. So I think you might even say that the CTs had an advantage with the old vent here. Obviously with a silenced M4, if I'm like this, then my silence is going to come through and show a little bit. But that aside, I would say that this was much better for the CTs before. And I will show you it from the other side shortly, but there's not much to say here. Just a quick note while we're here. In fact, if you kind of extend like this, so your legs go beyond this point, then the T's will always see your legs from around that position before you will see the T. So just bear that in mind. But that's not really relevant to this video so much. But definitely the old vent was much more beneficial to the CTs than the new vents are. So I'll show you this from the opposite perspective now. So again, this is old vent from the CT perspective, and you can see I'm crouching in the vent. You can see just a little bit here, but you can barely see anything. So as soon as I start to move to my left, then I'm going to be visible to the CT, so he can start shooting here. So you can see I can see basically nothing with the old vents. So again, he's just crouching there to show some movement. So as a T, I can see basically nothing, whereas in the new vents, I would say the Ts are at a very strong disadvantage if the CTs are playing right in the corner over here. So just something to be aware about with the new changes to cache.